Good morning. Stunt Queen's gonna stunt. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
basics.
We're
Here.
old enough to remember when they actually were a party that actually, even if we disagreed with them, did stuff that was not stunts, right?
Well, when you don't have any legislative ideology or ideas about what you'd like to do policy-wise, you're left with stunts. And who sowed that message better than anyone? Donald Trump.
Yep.
And so his lemmings are learning those lessons, and that's what they're doing in places like Texas and Florida, and even here in Virginia.
Yeah, yeah. It's extraordinary that yesterday that's what great. And meanwhile, what's going on with his power grid? I mean, it's just do Texans not care? I don't know. I'm seeing polls where better work is tied. What do you think? Because I can't imagine this is how they want to be governed, even in Texas.
If anybody can pull it off, it's Beto. And I think that there's probably a miscalculation long term with what Governor Abbott is doing here. In states like Texas, you have a lot of transplants who are leaving for tech jobs that have moved to Texas, and so you've got a lot of liberals moving to places like Texas and elsewhere. And at a certain point, that's going to have an impact on the statewide elections there. It's already had impacts on the state legislature and in their congressional delegation, which is why they've gone so heavy-handed with their redistricting efforts. So I think Beto knows this. It'll be interesting to see if the same dynamic can play out in Texas that played out in Washington, where you have an extremist stuntman of a executive versus a capable, just steady person. Whether or not that is a matchup that voters in Texas will choose the slow and steady, like they did with Biden.
Yeah. So let's turn to, I don't know, January 6th news. Jason tweets, you can't have a functioning country with a treasonous former president roaming around free, continuing his coup against the government. I mean, I wonder if, this sort of bombshell nature of every day, it's like some other hugely incriminating story about this is numbing people, Carl. I mean, this one, Trump admits he pressured Barr to take the fall for his coup. You have to get impeached, maybe. Very good. It's such good advice. I mean, it's just on and on. With the two, Cipollone and his deputy obviously testified yesterday. Where are you at on all of that? January 6th, Merrick Garland, etc.
TikTok, H.E. Garland, TikTok. I watch a lot of what Glenn Kirshner has to say, and I am frustrated by the pace of the Justice Department. But as I've said here before, I have hope that there is a greater thing at play here, that they are working on something bigger. I'm not sure what's giving me that hope anymore, but right. Certainly the January 6th Commission is putting out a lot of information that is very concerning and that the Justice Department should be looking into.
Right. This is this morning's. Trump complained that Bill Barr refused to get impeached for trying to help him overturn the election. He said, I just don't think the people of this country are going to take it. Look, we also had a chance. Bill Barr, the attorney general, didn't want to be impeached. He didn't want to get impeached. How do you not get impeached? You just sit back and relax, wait for your term to end. That's what he did. Sad thing. Sad day for our country. Wow. So little time. So many people with no curse. So many. What did he say? See, it's like Mike Pence and Bill Barr, who did not want to get impeached.
Yeah.
Right. He said, if Bill Barr had courage, a lot of this would have been taken care of. He said, look, get impeached. I went up a lot in the polls and I got impeached. You have to get impeached, maybe. But he was so afraid of getting impeached, he refused to do his job.
What polls is he talking about? Trump never went up in the polls.
I know.
The people in his office?
Yes, nothing he says is true. I don't.
It was like a lunchtime poll, like in
Heather's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kellyanne Conway went around the office.
I don't even want to know what color Trump's bow is.
Yeah, but I know Barr's talked to the committee, right? How is this all not illegal? This is obviously evidence that he tried to get all of these people to be part of this coup.
And maybe that's what we're seeing here is the commission putting out information that makes the case for everything that they're going to ultimately conclude.
Right.
At the end of the day, we're going to have we're only getting bits and pieces right now. At the end of the day, we're going to have a compelling argument made, and it's going to be more of a narrative than what we've gotten thus far they're going to have to piece all of these things together for the American people so that we know exactly what happened here. And from there, we've heard about the prospect of them doing a criminal referral to the Justice Department. If that's what they do, then something like that is going to be necessary. They're going to have to say exactly what they are alleging and why they think it's worthy of prosecution.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously they're moving up the chain. Pat Cipollone was the White House attorney. His deputy, they obviously were talking to the committee yesterday, but they obviously famously were going to quit if he installed whoever, I can't even keep track of the names anymore, who was going to help him overturn the election as attorney general. I love this part. Trump, because we know that Ivanka and Jared just talked to the committee. Trump told the Washington Post he had offered his daughter and son-in-law privilege, but they declined it. Courts, of course, have rejected Trump's claim of there's no daddy-daughter privilege.
Would you like privilege? Here's the privilege. As if my children don't have enough of it already.
Right. Yes, they need more white privilege. But I don't know what you make of that. But I can just only hope that Ivanka threw him under the bus. Okay. I don't know. They obviously...
So for the better part of his entire term, we would see these stories about how Ivanka and Jared were not on the same side as the president. He'd do something on immigration and a story would come out about how Ivanka and Jared had tried to keep him from doing it. He'd do something against LGBTQ people and there'd be a story with anonymous sources saying that they'd tried and failed. And so one has to wonder if those were not just face-saving stories at the time and whether they're doing the same thing now, whether they are, being honest with the commission. I have trouble seeing them doing anything to bury her father. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
But maybe she doesn't know the information she's giving them. Maybe she doesn't know that it fits into a larger puzzle. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
But if it does turn out that is, that she plays a role in creating this narrative arc of what Trump did here, Trump won't hesitate 2 seconds to bury both of them.
Yeah. Karl, do you find yourself as a former political strategist and also a homo being I mean, we can joke about stuff, but these what do we call them? Culture war issues.
Mm-hmm.
Are you I think I am shocked that we are fighting these again, and that the Republicans obviously think these are winning issues in the midterms. They don't say gay bills and the anti-trans bills and I think we have a good. If you look at polling, we have a really good case to fight back, to not be scared about these issues.
We do. They think that they're base motivation. They don't think they're actually for winning over the broader part of the electorate. They think it's about turning out their base. And we'll see what happens there. I look at places like Fairfax County where these games were played in the 2021 governor's elections, and the Democratic candidate still got 65% here. So, we'll see what happens. I think we have every reason to be concerned as Democrats, and that, concerned as we always should be in every election. There is no break here. The minute we take our eye off the ball and the minute we think that we can sit one out is when we lose.
Yep.
So
I look at this headline. Fox Corporation's LGBT staff livid over hateful coverage of Don't Say Gay Bill. I mean, there are obviously employees in even the most conservative companies that we have come so far on gay rights that are like, what are we doing? Like, what is happening in 2022? It's
That's right.
Yeah. All right, Karl, you are doing the Lord's work as usual, and you are remain a delight for many, many years.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate it.
I think you're the longest serving loyalty now in royalty.
I think that's true. I don't want to even count the years, but we're both in our 20s now, so
yes.
Let's see what happens in our 30s.
There you go.
There you go. Here's to a
whole new
decade.
World. Love you, Karl. See you next week.
All right.
Ow.